Well, it's Thursday, and you all know what that means. As you know, TNA has come off from Under the Siege. Now, for the record, I did not see that one, and I'm sorry that I did not do a review. There was a lot of things that were going on, but however, as you know, the only thing I will reveal certain things when we get to the review with TNA, what happened on Under Siege, and all that. And of course, we have more Ring of Honor showing, of course, some interesting matches. We do have a Proving Ground match, and we have a bit of a rematch between both uh, Spanish announced project against Cole Carter and Griff Garrison. So we're gonna see tons of that. But first things first, we have of course Marvelous with their much earlier show of this month of May with their 8th anniversary. This one features, of course, the AAW tag titles. Magenta defended against Ryu Mizunami and Sonoka Kato. So the obvious question is, who will walk out as the tag champions? And I think many fans probably prefer Magenta. So we'll see what happens. And then, of course, we cap up this episode with some news updates to give you guys updates what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as, of course, what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, and of course some developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling, either in the promotion or personally in the lives of the wrestlers or whatever is going on. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling news from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If I'm unable to put it on this episode, I can put it on a separate video by itself. We also do real timing news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. And of course, we do the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool things as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions are set aside. It's time for me to shut up and get this show on the road, and I believe it's time to begin with, of course, Marvelous. Okay, so our first review, this is from Marvelous back on May 3rd for their 8th anniversary show. First things first, it opened up in a battle royale. Now, here's who participated in this match. We have Shikayo Nagashima, Tomoko Watanabe, Miyuki Takase, Izuki Aoki, Unagi Sayaka, Brooke Havoc, Chi-Chi, and Zones. So those are the participants. Now, completely lost track on who was gonna, in fact, win this entire thing. Like who was eliminated in order. But however, of course, there'll be some team ups, some how to say ganging up on one particular thread, that sort of thing. So basically, that's how it normally works. However, we did see a very interesting how to say teamwork with Unagi and Miyuki Takase, but unfortunately, I can tell you those two were limited. So was Zone, and so was what's her name, Tomoko Wanana, Nagashima and a few others. But it was Chi with the surprise win when she applied the backslide on Watanabe, and just like that, she won. Now she did a little promo. I don't know exactly what was going on, but however, I can tell that there was. I don't know if she was asking for some reward or something. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, it appears like it's. I don't know if she's asking for a title shot or something. That is something I don't know. I mean, Marvelous doesn't have English translations like what Stardom and now Mighty Gold has, and of course Tokyo Super Wrestling. But I wish we knew what was going on. But no, sorry about that, folks. Now our next match. This is our only men's exhibition match. Well, not exactly, but more of a showcase. We have Jaya Jewel teaming up with El Kukui, taking on Titus Alexander and Starboy Charlie. Now, yes, folks, Titus and Starboy Charlie, I think Jaya and of course El Kukui are part of the tour they've been doing in Japan, especially training in Japan. We have been seeing, of course, recently Starboy Charlie and Titus Alexander participating in Noah. So it's very interesting to see that coming from them. But nonetheless, we have seen what great teamwork both Titus and Starboy Charlie has done. I mean, those two have been rivals in the past, but it seems like they were willing to do the whole bygone be bygone type of thing, which I have nothing against. But it seems like they're growing well for each other. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if those two, even when they return home to West Coast Pro, they probably will compete for the tag titles. I mean, that would be something. But nonetheless, their teamwork was completely great. It was Starboy Charlie who, in fact, picked up the win with the shooting star press on who was it? Oh yeah, on Jaya Jewel, and just like that. Our next match, we have AI Hausen taking on Dash Shizako from Sendai Girls. Now, don't forget, Dash is known as the Hardcore Queen. No hardcore weapons were involved. It was just a straight up traditional match. So you would think so. But however, Aya Hausen, we have seen her grown significantly. I mean, she was like their version of Waka in Stardom, but she's nothing compared like her. I know she had her issues towards her in the past, but anyway, AI did put up a good fight, but unfortunately that wasn't enough because I'm not sure exactly what Dash applied. It looked more like a Michinoku driver, in my opinion. But if that was the case, Dash picked up a fantastic win. Now, oh yeah, now we do have another men's match. We have, of course, the only male in the Marvelous roster, Leo Izaka. Now, he had a mystery opponent. Nobody knew who it was until when I heard the theme song, I recognized who it was. It was none other than the GHC national champion from Noah Hayata. I was a bit of surprised that it was him, but nonetheless, I thought it was a pretty good match to watch because, of course, Izaka is the homegrown wrestler in Marvelous, the only one, to be honest with you. But Hayata is a well-recognized wrestler in the junior heavyweight division. You probably would think, okay, he probably would pick up the win. Well, he did when he applied the ghetto clutch, and just like that, it was completely over. Now our next match, well, the rivalry between Marvelous and Os Academy still rages on. As you know, Mayumi Ozaki, that little witch, has in possession Marvelous' belt, the AAW title that she took from Miyu Momono during a match. Now she and Mayu Yukihi made their appearance. So Mio and of course Takumi Iroha are in fact in the same match, facing off against them. Now this was a much brutal match, but thank God that Mayumi did not bring that scumbag of Dirty Cop showing up, getting in the way, because he during Oz Academy he gets involved. If I was there in the ring, I would punch him his lights out if that was me. But anyway, of course, Mayumi was going to bring her chain and thinking that was going to help her win, but no. Unfortunately, this match ended in a time limit draw. Now, I don't know exactly what was going on in the post match promo, but I wouldn't be surprised if Takumi issued a challenge for the AAW title against Mayumi. Of course, Mayumi will have, of course, some tricks up her sleeve. Don't forget, we don't know where that match could happen. I mean, it could happen in Oz Academy or Marvelous. But if I was Mayumi Ozaki, I would definitely would want it in Oz Academy to ensure that the belt remains where it belongs. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, don't forget, Takumi is and still always been the ace of Marvelous. Now our main event, championship action. We have the AAW tag team titles. The challengers, all the way from Oz Academy, Ryu Mizunami and Sonoko Kato. They take on Magenta, Riko Kawahara, and Maria. Now I have to say this match was a bit of a challenge for them because, of course, they are the toughest challengers they've ever been. Now, you probably would have assumed that if they would have lost these tag titles to Mizunami and Kato, it would have been a disgraceful thing for Marvelous, losing two of their championships to outsiders. So that's probably one of the last thing they would want. But however, it was Riko Kawahara who surprised me when, of course, when, of course, Kato was about to do something, but Riko actually applied an inside cradle, and thank God she retained the belt. And I think it was a pretty awesome moment. And I'm sure Mizunami and Kato were unexpected what they did not. They were totally surprised about this, but nonetheless, they retained the belts. They're not going nowhere. So I think that's pretty much it what we have for Marvel. So let's move on with, of course, TNA. Okay, TNA, as I mentioned before, they just come out from their latest pay-per-view, The Under Siege. Now, I did not see The Under Siege completely, but as you know, the system continues to show why the system still works. They've beaten the Matt Hardy and, of course, Speedball Mountain. Alicia Edwards finally gets a belt now to show the world why the system still works, yada, yada, yada. So, they even decided to open up with their little celebrations until but Matt Hardy told them that this thing between them is not over because apparently he revealed that he knows how to defeat them. Because, like they say, you encounter them the first time, you try to learn things as you go. So he said he knows exactly what he needs to do. So that would put, of course, the system in a bit of a high alert that would question what exactly did he learn. Now, when you thought, but however, the system tried to gang up on him, Ryan Menace shows up and helped out Matt Hardy, and I think that was very interesting to see. However, the system decided to run to the principal's office. If you know what I mean, I'm talking about Santino Marella, the director of Authority. And you probably ask me why do I call him the principal? Simple. They acted like little kids, like telling the principal that they were being bullied. However, Santino had other things in mind, but he told them that luckily that all members of the system there that he has an idea, but he said that he'll deal with the whole Ryan Menace and as soon as this is over. But of course, they want it done now. Like they want him to get rid of him or whatever, but did not do any well. Now, we do see a very interesting interview. Gia talked to the ABC. Now, however, the ABC will be involved in some interesting match to determine for a number one contendership for the X Division title. Now, as you may know, they revealed that both of them will be in a tag match against Speedball Mountain. But here's what things gets interesting. Whoever wins that particular match will move on to face each other. So basically, either if it's Speedball Mountain or ABC to pick up the win, they have to face each other, and then they will be the ones to face Mustafa Ali for the X Division title. So that's going to be a very interesting thing to watch. Now, our first match, we have, of course, the FBI consistent of Ray Jazz and Zach Klein taking on First Class, Rich Swann, and AJ Francis. So basically, of course, we First Class won the match thanks to the cohesion between both AJ and Rich Swann. The first AJ applied a chokeslam on Ray Jazz and then a frog splash by Rich Swann to pick up the win. Now, Jake something went to have a little chat with Santino until They were interrupted by the Rascals, and then of course Diener decided to help them out. So they were later put out into a match between each other later. Now, before we get to that match, we do see the sound check. Alan Angels, he had Khan once again, and Steph the Landers. But I have to say, Alan Angels an idiot. I don't know what the hell was he thinking, but however, I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking. It was like he was trying to hit on Steph the Lander, but this is a they were pretty much upset how things did not go their way. I mean, they were determined to destroy uh, Jordan Grace and PCO, but things did not go according to plan. But that's their fault. But yeah. Now our next match, we have the Rascals versus Jake Something and Diener in a match that Diener called the Albany Tornado Tag Match. Now, no, they're not in Texas. Albany's in New York, in case anybody asks. So that is something, of course, that was very interesting. Now, you probably would think this would fall in favor for Diener and Jake Something. Nope, it did not. Apparently, because since it's been a while, I feel that Diener and Jake Something, they're currently in ring rust, knowing that haven't teamed up in years. But it was, of course, the Rascals that picked up the win when they applied a double foot stomp on Diener. However, the post match, things got a little interesting. Steve Macklin attacked them both. I don't think they expected this, but this is retaliation for what happened. Of course, if you guys don't know what I'm referring to when they try to take out Mike Santana and they left him hanging. And then, of course, he tried to explain his actions. Kazarians feel like you should worry about, you know, Josh Alexander and Eric Young, but Macklin's like, nope, I don't have nothing to do with that anymore. So basically, I think right now his next target is the Rascals. So that's gonna be a very interesting to watch. So we'll see where that leads us from here. Now, as you know, we saw the return of Mike Santana. Tom, the commentator, did an interview with him, talk about his fantastic career. We all know Mike Santana for his tenure in TNA, especially with the revival of LAX, how they were taking the world by storm. But however, I think there were those that talk about his 5 year period gap that he was not been around. So, of course, the obvious question we ask, why did he go solo? And he said that it saved his life. Now, it cut off from there. I'm sure there'll be more of this next week or so, but we'll see. Now, we have this person named Gabby La Spazia, who has her own podcast and invited Ash by Elegance, talking about certain things that took place. For example, the ring, the knuckle rings, and all that. However, they said that she would get that back if she would take another rematch. I'm sure Ash by Elegance want that because, you know, that's what they probably want, their jewelry back. We'll see. So yeah. Now, the biggest announcement happened is with Santino Marella. He talked about this new thing called Champions Challenge. So basically, all the champions of TNA are involved. The system, as you know, they have the TNA World Title, the tag team titles. Alicia and Masha are the current Knockouts Tag Champions. Jordan Grace is the Knockouts Champion. Mustafa Ali is the X Division Champion, and of course, Laredo Kid is the um, digital media champion. However, Josh Alexander was in fact was supposed to be involved in this, but due to his own personal issues, well, we'll skip about that. But however, he was replaced by Matt Hardy. But however, they did mention who will be involved, and who's involved in that. We have Matt Hardy, Steph DeLanders, Sammy Callahan, Eric Young, Ryan Meneth, Spitfire, and of course Joe Hendry. So we're gonna see a very interesting thing. So I'm looking forward to it. I think this will happen next week. I think yes. So that's gonna be a real interesting match to watch. Now, our next match, we have Jonathan Gresham taking on Will Ferraro. Now, we know Will Ferraro it has a history with Josh Alexander, but he is not the guy he knew before. But I can tell you that this ended with with the ink of death, just like that. It was completely over. Now, we did see a very interesting thing with Gail Kim. She just went somewhere looking for a particular person. That person is someone we haven't seen for quite a while, and that is Giselle Shaw. Now, we don't know what she's been doing, but she looks more like she is finding her inner spirit when she showed up and tells her, "We need to talk." Now, I don't know exactly what they're going to talk about. I'm sure that will come to light possibly next week, but who knows? We'll see. Now, before our main event, which is the number one contendership, Mustafa Ali makes his way to, of course, the commentary desk. We have Speedball Man and ABC. Now, personally, I felt a bit biased about this one because I'm a fan of both teams. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it matters to me who was going to win, but the real question is who was going to do it. But, oh, I can tell you that this match ended with a surprise. It was a Speedball Mountain when, of course, Bailey applied the Ultimate Weapon onto Austin, winning the match. So we probably will see Speedball and Trent Seven face each other. Who will face against Mustafa Ali. So we're gonna be staying close to that. So I think that's pretty much it what we have with TNA. So let's move on with Ring of Honor. Okay, so we have Ring of Honor. It opened up with, of course, with the current ROH World Tag Team Titles members of the Undisputed Kingdom, Mike Bennett and Matt Taven. Now, however, they did hear last week from a couple of guys who seem they have their sights set on the tag belts, and that is, of course, Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Hange. So they're giving them a stern warning, so we'll see what happens until then. Now, our first match, we have a very interesting six-woman tag match. We have Mercedes Martinez, Diamante, and Taya Valkyrie taking on Layla Hirsch, Lady Frost, and Abaddon. Now, this was a very interesting pairing because, but however, it was necessary. Now, we do know that Mercedes Martinez and Diamante did screw her out of the ROH Women's World Television title tournament. But you probably would think they would have gotten the revenge through that. No. They were able to work well with each other until Diamante applied a pinfall onto Lady Frost to pick up the win. Now, our next match, we have Anthony Ogogo versus Zicky Dice. Well, I can tell you that this match ended with a sucker punch. And then, of course, it was over. Then Anthony Ogogo grabbed the mic for a little promo. So basically, giving the stern warning and of course notice to the entire AEW, ROH locker room and possibly AEW locker room. So we'll see where that leads us from here on out. Now, it's been a while since we've seen Rachel Ellering. She's back. Basically, she is now making some interesting moves. As you know, is now hungry for competition, but Maria decided to spoil her little moment, telling her that things would have gone right if she sided with her. But, of course, Rachel probably would never side with her. Now, our next match, we have Kiera Hogan versus Ashley DeBlanc. I have to say it was a pretty good, impressive match. Now, we know these two that Ashley has been here before, but it was Kiera Hogan who picked up an impressive win by pinfall, and just like that, it was completely over. Then, of course, our next interview, we do have Nick Comoroto. It appears that for the last couple of weeks, we have witnessed that Jacoby Watts has been wanting him to join his little journey of being enlightened, whatever, this whole religious thing. And he accepted it. So, I don't know what that fuzz was all about, but this can't be good. But we'll see where that leads us. Now, our next match, we have Lance Archer versus The Righteous against three other guys. They not mentioned who they were, but I can tell you that they were brutalized. First, it was, of course, the Autumn and Sunshine mixed with the Blackout, and just like that, it was over. So, now, we do have a proving ground match. We have Billy Starks versus Dream Girl Alley. Uh, well, I have to say, Dream Girl actually, Alley did pick up a good fight, but however, that was enough. It was Billy Starks that picked up the win. Now, we did see a little video package from the premier athletes. Apparently, that Weasel, Smart Mark Sterling, decided, because of what transpired, it's time to set up new goals. So basically, Davari and Tony Nese have their sights set on the ROH World Tag Team titles. So they don't care who has them as long as they get them. And of course, Josh Woods has another new goal. Now, don't forget, he was a former ROH Pure Champion, but now his next goal is the ROH World Champion. So Mark Briscoe better be careful with him. Now, our main event is the Spanish announced Project Angelico and Serpentico taking on Cole Carter and Griff Garrison. Now, this rivalry between them dates back a while ago when they were in an 8-man tag match. Then, of course, the finger blaming who was truly responsible for the loss happened. And I think that was the whole point. However, they took Serpentico's mask. But luckily, it was, of course, the Cradle Trap by Angelico to pick up the win, and of course getting Serpentico's mask back. But unfortunately, there was a bit of a beatdown coming from Carter and Garrison, so that's how it ended. I'm sure they probably will have another opportunity of them, but that's for another time. But right now, I think that's pretty much it what we have for Ring of Honor. It's time for news updates. Alright, welcome to our news update. So let's update on what's going on in the world of pro wrestling. First things first, let's begin with the promotions on their upcoming events. For our GCW updates, for the most notorious event taking place in Philly on May 18th, they just announced Brandon Kirk will be in action against Cole Roderick. And then of course on the 25th of May in Columbus, Ohio for Take a Picture, Kylie Ray will be in action against Dark Sheik. And then the next day, no, wait a minute. Take a Picture will take place in Chicago. Now, Paranoid will be taking place in Columbus on the 26th of May. They just announced that Bussy, both Ellie Catch and Effie will be in action to take on Steph Delanders and Broski Jimmy. Yeah. And then, of course, for the No Sleep event on the 28th, we'll have in Houston, I think we'll have the debut of Brick Savage. I don't know who this guy is. And then, of course, on July 5th, we have the Worst Behavior in Toronto. It was announced that the so-called GM, Matt Cardona, will be there. Someone needs to kick him out. He's going to cause a problem. Now, updates from MLW. The first one, as you know, we will be coming in real soon to the Azteca Lucha event. They just announced that the president of CML, Salvador Luthra Lumeli, will be there. Now, those who don't know who he is, his family has been running the entire CML promotion for almost decades. Almost close to 100 years, guys. Like 90 years or so. But yes, so that's what really is going to be. So he's going to be there. But it was later foretold that CML and MLW will be doing another show together called Lucha Apocalypto. That will take place in November. Now, some of you have a question, do they have a relationship with AEW? Yes, they do. I think they're looking for... I think because I probably will think that right now with AAA, there's a lot of drama going on, but we'll see. But I might do a little discussion video on that. Now, our House of Glory for the War Within will take place on the 24th of May. Matt Riddle will be in action to take on Mike Santan. JCW for the After Hours 4 event on the 1st of June. Casey Cattell will be participating as well. A title match has been announced for June for the Princess of Princess title by Tokyo Yoshi Pro Wrestling in Prism. That will take place on the 9th of July in Corkin. Miyu Watanabe defends her belt against Vert Vixen. That's going to be a very impressive match. Then, of course, a Sayaka Kurata from Stardom, and of course, the rookie with Cosmic Angels, has put out on her X account that she and Natsupoi will be teaming together in a 6-woman tag match with T Heart's Yumiko Hara for the Goku Aku Festival. I don't know what that is. They take on Zap, Dump Matsumoto, and of course, Stardom member um, Natsuko Toro. So that's going to be interesting. Now we do have, of course, Black Label Pro for the family reunion show taking place on the 7th of July. The Black Label Pro Championship will be defended. Kevin Ku, who is the current champion, defends his belt against Miyu Yamashita. That's going to be one hell of a match. And then finally, on the 14th of July, Kitsune Women's Wrestling for Sugo, they just announced Miyoko Matsumoto will be participating as well. Now, for interesting developments, Azumi went on an interview and explained on certain things that she said. Let me pull that up real quick for all of you. Now, as they asked Azumi considering adding a foreign wrestlers into Queen's Quest. Now, it's not the first time they had foreign wrestlers. We've seen that before. This is what she has said. When I had my match in AEW the other day, when they had some wrestlers I met for the first time in about 8 years, we talk about old times, and I have been in the industry for a long time. So I know a lot of people. Well, it seems Kamatani has a candidate as well, so we're talking about it. So there is the possibility we will see a foreign wrestler join Queen's Quest. Now, many people have often been talking about it has to be Anna Jay. I mean, she does fit with them, so we'll see about that. However, Azumi did talk more and talked about, of course, reforming Queen's Quest. She did state it like, I want to protect Queen's Quest as a place for Io Sky to come back to. So basically, she wants to keep things how it was for Queen's Quest. And she went on more. This is what she says. I love Queen's Quest, which was created by my favorite Io-san. I don't know when that would happen, but I want to protect Queen's Quest as a place for Io-san to come back to. I think it would be good to go back to Queen's Quest as it was when Io was there. For that reason, I will love to wear my belt and go scout new members who are strong as Utami. So basically, her plan is to try to reform this Queen's Quest if by any means necessary Io Sky comes back. But it's very interesting, so yeah, we'll see. Now, Rocky Romero just had a very interesting interview. Talked about he once tried out the role for Dario Cuato. If you guys know who he is, he was the promoter of Lucha Underground. So that was pretty much it. And then he pitched the idea about a janitor in the temple. So that kind of was interesting to hear. Now, those who are fans of women of wrestling, they just announced the Tonga Twins are no longer in the promotion. There are those who are now speculating that they could be making their way to WWE. Now, we don't know that for sure. It's now been foretold that Mike Bailey, his contract with TNA, could run out by the end of this year. So we don't know if he'll resign or decide to depart. That is still unclear just yet. Now, Nao Ishikawa went on a very interesting interview. She said that this, and I think many of you will be surprised. I actually, I once was once a finalist in the audition for Up Girls Pro Wrestling, the one that we see in Tokyo Show Pro Wrestling. She even stated that Miyu Watanabe was next to her at that time. So basically, it was between Miyu Watanabe and Nao Ishikawa. So basically, Miyu won, but Nao did not. So that was very interesting to hear. I mean, it's kind of sad. I know that Nao Ishikawa, she has done singing and dancing before. I mean, we saw that with Princess Kismet in Ice Ribbon. But yeah. So that's pretty much it. Now, a very interesting development has happened. Tam Nakano actually went on a social media and posted this. Now, it was during that time when, of course, about Willow Nightingale, and this is what she had to say. Hey, hey, the strongest and the cutest challenger from overseas is in Japan. You're so strong. You are strong, big, and have a cute smile. I'm ready to make America fall in love with Tamu. Of course, going to double going to May 26th double nothing as a champion. Now, there are those who are treating this, is this a tease between both Tam and Willow? I mean, yes. I mean, we know Willow is in a match against Mercedes Monet. Now, hypothetically, let's play this game here. Let's say Willow retained the belt. Who would be making her appearance? Tam Nakano. And I wouldn't be surprised if, by any means necessary, this match will take place at at Forbidden Door. That is something we could especially see. Now, Rocky did stated that there is the possibility of Mina and Azumi showing up there too, so that is something we could see as well. So, but we do know that Stardom is booked on that very day at Shinjuku Face. So we'll see what happens until then. So as of right now, we'll just leave things as it is with our news updates. So I think we are done with everything. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. As of right now, as you know, I had decided to make a judgment call at the moment. As you know, Mother Days is happening soon. For Friday and Saturday, I already made plans to celebrate with my brother and my mother, uh, twice in 1 week, in 1 week or so. I'm debating whether I should do another episode. You know, not to put too much stress on me. So I decided maybe not to do another episode until next Saturday, which will be uploaded until Sunday. So I'm gonna thinking about doing that instead. So I'm gonna give myself a break on Friday for two reasons. One is Mother's Day, and two, something personal is about to happen. It's gonna take up so much of my time. So I decided for the next episode it will not be uploaded until, of course, um, Sunday. I will do Collision and Rampage on that very day, and we'll see how that goes. But as of right now, I don't want to put stress on me at the moment, because it's Mother's Day, and two, because of this thing that's gonna be happening soon in my personal life. So as of right now, no new episode from Friday to be uploaded on Saturday, but we'll see how that goes. Um, I think that's pretty much it what we have. So, but I will be doing some news updates in case of anything that's been announced. That I can definitely do. It does not take too much of my time, but yes. So we'll see where that leads us from here now. But at the moment, this is the plan, and this is what's going to happen. So right now, I'll say this: I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye, and have a nice day.